and have really become experts at blocking marketers out. And so as a business owner or marketer, you sit and you say, well, who's moved my customers? Where are they going? Why am I not getting the leads that I used to? Why, perhaps why are my sales not as effective as they used to be? If we break down the internet really into three major categories where consumers are looking for information and make purchasing decisions, you can break it down into search engines, into the blogosphere, and into social media sphere. And so what we need to do is learn to shift the way so that we can match the way we market our products with the way our prospects shop and search for our products. And all of that, of course, drills down into our website. The problem that I see is that the typical website built today, whether it's on a content management platform or not, oftentimes looks something similar to this, where it can be a beautiful site, but at the end of the day, we're really not. It's difficult to find on the web. Either we can't be found via search engines, or we're not active enough via social media for people to even know that we exist. And with the number of websites that are on the internet today, obviously it's very important to place well in search engines so that people know that you know where you exist. And that's really the what inbound marketing is creating a website in a way and shaping your marketing in a way that you're creating bridges, you're creating airports, if you will, you're creating roads into your city, and your website is this becomes then this place of energy where people can conduct business, where mass people gather. And so today what I'm going to be talking about are ways to really create those bridges, to create those roads and airports, making it easy for people to find you in hopes that you can obviously convert them into new prospects and new leads. So this is typically the websites that are any inbound marketing website is generally set up as kind of a hub and spoke site. And so your website really becomes the center of all of your marketing efforts. All of your paid advertising goes back to your website, of course, SEO, word of mouth, your offline media also pointing to your website. But within that, there's a larger component that really integrates web analytics, CRM software, and other automated marketing systems to help you with your marketing workflows. And so the goal is to attract users to your website, have them provide you with, and then on your website you would provide them with some sort of valuable content that would get them reading your site and trusting you, and then provide on each page of your website some call to action, preferably a call to action that would be around whatever they came to your website to discuss, whether it's a blog post for maybe best practices for website design. Then your call to action might be to download a white paper or to download an infographic, something that's going to provide them with value so that they're willing to share their information with you. To start this off, we're going to talk about attracting. And as I previously mentioned, people are searching for products really in three main areas, via search engines, blogs, and through social media. But really, what should your focus be on? I think the best place to start, honestly, is by reading your other industry-related blog articles, industries that are related to yours, reading user forums, even looking at competitor websites, and getting an idea of what do they say that interests you, what topics are they discussing, what information can you offer also on your website to help people out. So where do you start? Again, the best place to start is by reading other industry blogs. There's been a lot of research done by marketing companies, and this is something that I actually pulled from HubSpot. Businesses with websites of 400 to 1,000 pages get 6 times more leads than those with 51 to 100 pages. And if you think that it's really difficult to create 400 to 1,000 pages on your website, it's really not. Really what it takes is time, patience, and the ability to really want to create content or have people within your organization that want to be thought leaders, that want to write about subject matter that they're interested in that would be helpful to other users. at the end of the day, really attracting visitors is really about creating remarkable content. Remarkable content attracts links from other websites pointing to your website. Remarkable content is easy and quickly spread on social media sites. But the biggest thing is that variety is probably the spice of life, and by that I mean when you're writing content, you should think about writing it in different types of formats. People don't just like to read blog articles, people also like to watch videos. People like to read white papers as well. Again, videos, but if you're going to put videos on your site, it's best to make them short, 2 to 3 minute videos about your industry. This is really important. Product videos are good, but they don't spread virally very easily, and so anything that comes across is really just a sales pitch that a user might not consider to be very helpful, helping them with either becoming a more valuable professional or more valued at their job, or some way of improving their life. If they don't see articles that way, then generally they'll see them as sales pitches and oftentimes move away from your site or move away from that article. There are also webinars, podcasts, webcasts, infographics, so there's really no shortage of variety that you can create for your users. My recommendation is just simply begin blogging if you're not doing it already. I think that any marketer that you speak to nowadays would probably tell you that. And the reason for that is that businesses that blog generate a tremendous number of more inbound links and typically attract more site visitors than blogs than people that don't blog. The reason for that is that the search engines like to see activity on your website, and there's only really so much that you can write about in a our services or about us. The blogging allows you to kind of really reach out and touch on topics that are both specific to your industry, but also could be related to any type of recent events that have been going on in the news. And if you can relate your articles to any type of recent events that have been going on somehow, you'll definitely have a better opportunity to place well in search and get people sharing and promoting your content with others. Here's another interesting statistic. Companies that blog 15 or more times per month get 5 times more traffic than companies that don't. And even if you increase your blogging from 3 to 5 times per month to 6 to 8, you can almost double your leads. So what do great blogs offer? Looking at a lot of different blogs over several years, really the best blogs that are out there, for the most part, allow you to quickly post and organize your content. And for non-technical people, this is very important because you don't want to have to get in and write a lot of HTML code or wrap your content in a lot of code and spend a lot of time working through the technical difficulties of writing. What you want to do is be able to get into your blog, very quickly be able to publish content, add images to your blog, things like that really engage users. And so, again, great blogs offer the ability to quickly post and organize content. They offer the ability to relate content by topic and offer content suggestions. What I mean by that is blogging, oftentimes there's taxonomy terms or specific ways that you can organize your content, so that if I'm on a large blog, I might not be interested if I'm a marketer in learning about web development, for example. If you take a look at Level 10's blog, but I am interested in learning more about inbound marketing or marketing in general, and so I'd like to be able to filter my blog post by a specific topic that I can read, maybe read several blog posts on. And as far as keeping people on your blog, it's great best practice to offer additional content suggestions to the reader, so that when they finish reading your blog, if they're engaged, if they comment, they might be interested in reading something that's a very similar blog post. You can do that by there are several mechanisms for doing that. Some content management platforms have the ability to automatically set and offer content suggestions based on really scanning the content on all the blog posts and seeing how similar 2 blog posts might be to each other, and then that can be an automated process. You can also link, create multiple blog posts as you have more blog articles. and interlink those blog posts together so that users can kind of move freely from one blog post to the next, so that they can better understand what you're writing about. Also, the ability for the reader to engage with the post through commenting, also through social sharing is very important. Obviously, we find that especially with readers that are commenting, it's really a good practice to maybe use a third-party system that's very popular. One that I always recommend is Discuss, which is a third-party plugin. I'm sure that WordPress, I know that Drupal has one, and I would highly recommend using something like that. One thing that's nice about that is that a lot of websites, and I mean a majority of websites, use third-party systems for commenting. A system like Discuss. One, it helps with all the spamming, but also it allows users to move freely through the web, so that if I'm logged into Discuss or I've logged in before, I don't have to create new accounts to blog. And so that's tremendously helpful for anyone for increasing engagement on your site. Also, as I mentioned, the ability to share content with friends, family, and bosses. Typically, that's done through social sharing mechanisms. Instead of having a user have to copy and paste a URL into their Facebook page or Twitter, it's best to put a social sharing mechanism like Share This or Add This are two good ones that will allow you to embed that social share directly on your page. And so if a user wants to share with their audience, all they have to do is basically click a button and then hit submit, and it'll share all of their content or share their content with all their users. And of course, the ability to for organic search to add metadata to posts, so the search engines know how to organize and really help rank your data. So, a quick guide to blogging: set up your blog on your own domain. Don't use a third-party domain. By that I mean you can set it up as a subdomain if you want, but the recommendation would be to have it as yourdomain.com/blog. That ensures that if the blog is on your domain, that all the content that you're writing and creating and promoting, you get to keep that content, and it's helping you build an asset rather than helping someone else build their asset. Create remarkable content in different flavors. Sounds easy. Creating remarkable content is definitely an art form. I recommend creating things like how-tos, industry articles, links, guest blogs, with very search engine friendly and catchy titles. Market your content through email, through RSS, and through social media channels. And start commenting on other people's posts. Become involved in communities, and go out to your competitors' websites, or if there's a user forum that's an industry-specific forum, be involved with those forums and talk up your not really talk up your business or talk up your service, but more just be helpful to people. People really oftentimes are very appreciative of people who can provide help online and refers, and oftentimes they'll reward you by either tweeting about you, or potentially even going to your website, leaving comments and promoting you to their friends. And probably the biggest thing is to be patient when blogging. If you're just now getting into blogging, it does take work to see results. It's not a short-term gain, but the value that you gain in having a well-known blog is tremendous, and over time, the return on investment is very significant. Secondly, as I kind of touched on, I'd recommend adding social media to all of your relevant pages. Social media has about 100% higher lead-to-close rate than outbound marketing does. That's taken from the State of Inbound Search. So why is social media important? Well, biggest thing is it allows users to share your content. Remember we mentioned kind of bridges and creating bridges. This is one way of creating additional bridges to your website via social media. Just posting your blog post to the internet generally isn't going to get people coming to your website. It's going to be hard for them to find you. So we definitely recommend that you really set up your social media links and start disseminating your content, promoting your content through social media. If you look at the impact of company Twitter reach on inbound traffic, This is an interesting statistic. Is you'll notice that if you have anywhere from 1 to 200 followers, you'll see some traffic to your site. But really, when you get up to the 500 range, you start to see sharp spikes in the amount of traffic and users people are coming, people that are visiting your website to read articles, because you have a lot more reach that way. Some more statistics: 51 to 100 followers generate 106% more traffic than those with 25 or fewer. So really start focusing on blogging, and when you're focusing on blogging and generating remarkable content, you really will start picking up followers automatically. I've found that people love to read, and oftentimes we'll be on blogs kind of instead of reading a newspaper in the morning. Oftentimes we'll hop on their favorite blogs to read and learn about their industry, oftentimes before they start their day. So a quick guide to sharing. Again, set up add this or share this on all the relevant pages of your site. Obviously on your blog, on all of your blog pages, also on press release or news releases, on events pages, even on your bio pages. Make sure that you set up your social profiles on all relevant social media sites like LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, Dig, Reddit. And when you create your content within your blog, make sure that you're sharing, again, that content with all of your social media connections. So now we're going to get into kind of search engine optimization and what role it kind of plays in the importance of organic search. Marketing Sherpa had a stat out about a year ago. It said 79% of links users click on are organic, not paid. And of those, 60% of all organic clicks go to the top 3 organic search results. So you can imagine, how valuable it is to be generating content that the Google search engine or the search engines find valuable. And what they're really looking to do is refer people. That's what search engines do. In the bottom line is they want to be the best at referring people. When someone comes in and says, "Hey, I want to find out. Can you refer me to anyone who knows about I don't know. I use it pretty specifically for home improvement, and so if I'm trying to figure out how to lay tile or remove a dent from a wood floor or something like that, I'm always looking at how-to articles. And when I do that, the people that come up are generally websites that act as publishers, act as online publishers. And that's exactly what your website site at the end of the day should be. It should be acting as an online publisher so that people can find you. But those articles I find tremendously helpful, and oftentimes I will share them with my social media network. But factors for ranking well: good code. Writing great code that structures your data in a way that search engines understand. There are a lot of tools, a lot of build your site online tools for cheap that when you use those tools, you can set up a website, just a basic website. But then if you look at all the code behind it all, it's all script languages and things that search engines really don't follow, and they take the organization of HTML and markup into consideration when ranking your website. Also, look at your URL structures of your website, creating URLs that describe your content in hierarchy. And so by that I mean that, for example, if you have an e-commerce site and your URLs are, product / dent repair, ? Some machine code looking URLs, the search engines really don't follow that. They don't really know what to do that as well. And so you want to make your URLs search friendly and also user friendly. So instead of having a # equals long string of characters, make sure that your URLs are easy to read. And it could be product / services / dent repair or something like that. But make sure that they're easy to read. Content structure is also very important. Correctly using headings and keywords. By that I mean ensuring that your web pages are easily scannable. I think a good test of that: men tend to have lose their train of thought very easily, and so oftentimes they're a good case for testing. You want to write your content in kind of an inverted pyramid style that makes it very easy for your site users to find the information that they want very quickly, so that they can scan a site and within a matter of a couple seconds they should know kind of what the topics are about. And to be able to do that, generally you'd want to use heading tags like H1 tags, H2 tags, or even H3 tags for your kind of section headings, and then using bullet points and using content. Of course, allowing users to drill down, especially if you're in professional services or healthcare or IT. Oftentimes, you want to think about writing at kind of an executive overview level for the top level pages, and then allowing other users who are more interested in learning much more about the technology. That's when you should get a lot more technical, but you allow the users to dig down to find that data rather than giving that to them up front. Because having like a white paper or some formal writing oftentimes leads to a user having to sit there and read through all of your content rather than scan. They'll get frustrated, and oftentimes you'll see bounce rates increase if you write that way for your website. Also on page SEO, make sure that you select keywords that you're going after, and you're optimizing all of your pages around those keywords so that you'll eventually start to rank for those keywords. I recommend starting off, if you're kind of new to this game, starting off with very long tail keywords, meaning if I'm trying to optimize my site around the word, now ultimately I want to be found around the word website design company, you want to start with longer keywords, because obviously that's a very competitive keyword phrase or keyword phrase. You might want to start with something like Dallas website design company or Dallas WordPress design company. Try to be as specific as you can. Dallas Drupal design company or Drupal website design company in Dallas. But try to be specific so that at least you can start to pick up traffic from if people type in longer keyword searches. And we often find nowadays that because search engines have been around for so long, generally when searching, consumers usually will use longer tail keywords so that they can filter down their search to find very specifically what they're looking for. And also look for things like off-page SEO factors, getting others to link to your content using keywords from your content. It was kind of a practice back in the day to outsource link building. That's really not a good practice anymore. What we find is that if you have valuable content, if internally you're doing the things to getting your employees to share the content that you guys create with their social media networks, if you're setting up email campaigns and sharing your content through social media, if there are digest feeds that you can get on that would promote your blog posts on third-party sites, then you'll start to see that organically people will be linking to your content. The strongest influences on search rankings really is the number and the quality of inbound links you have to a web page. And so if you go out, and this is the reason that you really shouldn't buy links, in my opinion, is you go out and buy links, then oftentimes you could have 100 links coming from really bad websites that aren't ranked well, websites that really have no juice or clout within the search engines. And I could have 5 high-quality links to my website, and my website's going to place higher than yours all day long, because it comes down to the number, but really the quality of sites. And I mean, if you can get, for example, if you're local to the Dallas area, and you can get an article, or you can guest blog or write articles and get them into D Magazine or into an online newspaper, then you're gonna your chances of ranking better for your content. So now that we have traffic coming to the site, we kind of have everything set up. We're starting to write content, generating on a regular basis. Again, writing anywhere from 6 to 15 blog posts, preferably per month. You're starting to see some action on your website, and you're building bridges. We want to start talking about getting conversion through your website, because it's one thing, and it's really not an easy task, like I said before, to to write content and to start building links to your website and to start placing well in search. But one thing that you can do to help with that is to really look at your conversion and how users are interacting with your site, how they're engaging with your content, and creating offers so that you can gather more information about that user when they're visiting your website, so that you can continue to market it to them when they've left your website, either through social media or through email, various formats, but we're going to talk a little bit about conversion. So really, what is conversion? Well, it's a lot of different things to different people, but at the end of the day, conversion is really the science of getting users to take action. A site that converts well allows marketers to focus less on generating these huge amounts of content at the end of the day, because you're getting more conversion rates per piece of content that you disseminate through the web. And at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter if you're getting 100,000, unless you're maybe an online publisher and you're purely focused on display advertising and making money off display ads. It doesn't matter if you're getting 100,000 unique visitors per month if you're only converting 5 or 10 or 20 of those users into leads. It'd be much easier to drive 20,000 unique visitors per month and maybe get 100 leads from that. So it's very important that you focus on conversion, and I'm going to touch on that in a little bit more detail in just a second. Conversion also helps you to increase leads, sales, and retention. And again, it's important to provide multiple ways for visitors to engage versus simply calling or buying something from your website. Have them, again, look at adding things like the ability to subscribe to a newsletter, or the ability to provide you maybe with a little bit of information to download an ebook, or to download a white paper, or to download an infographic. So this is a typical conversion workflow. It all starts, in my opinion, with impression. When a user finds you through search or clicks on a link from Twitter and comes to your site, you have about 8 seconds to make a good impression. So everything starts with an impression. From there, they're going to read your article, and again, as I said, on each page that you have a blog post or a news release, or however you're generating traffic to your site. And don't think that people are going to come directly to your homepage. Oftentimes, that's not the case anymore. As you begin inbound marketing and you're writing blog posts, most visitors to your website are going to come in through those blog posts and through those articles. And so it's important that those posts and those articles look clean, consistent, again, have remarkable content that people actually want to engage with, that they might want to leave a comment on the post or provide it to their friends. But it all starts there. On each one of those pages, you want to provide some sort of call to action for that user. Again, whether it's if you found this at the end of each one of your blog posts, if you found this article interesting, or if you disagree with what I have to say, or if you agree, feel free to leave a comment. Leave an offer as well. And so, if your blog post is about web development, have maybe a banner advertisement or some sort of offer for them to download a free white paper that would give them more information than the post might. Oftentimes you'll see that on large sites like IBM or DataCert and other sites where they're providing teaser views, but they're doing a lot of content marketing in a lot of different formats, webinars, podcasts, those types of things, getting users to provide them with a little bit more information so that they can continue to market to those users. We'll talk about that again in a little bit more detail. So again, looks, they do matter, and it's not just your home page. The cleanliness of the design and interior page is important as well. Best place to start is to understand who your audience is and what they are most interested in. I think that's a big mistake that a lot of businesses make, is that they have this kind of they think that they have this idea based on maybe some research or something that they've read of exactly how their website should be shaped. I'm a firm believer that if at all possible, hire an agency or someone who's done marketing research to interview your customers. You can create qualitative and quantitative quantitative surveys, and send it out to your existing customers and ask them what they're looking for, because at the end of the day, The websites that we're creating, again, they don't need to talk at the customer. They need to speak with the customer. They need to be helping your prospects, your site visitors in some way. So you want to build the site in a way that helps them achieve their goals, and ultimately that's going to lead to you achieving your goals as a business. We start our process internally with all the sites that we build with wireframes. Wireframes, we use a product called Axure, which is there are a lot of you can use OmniGraffle, several products out there, but wireframing allows us to very quickly and easily create kind of layouts based on best practices, but again user goals and what they're trying to accomplish. And we take that data from the qualitative and quantitative surveys and then structure sites based on that data. Again, wireframes show the structure of the site. Oftentimes we can customize user paths through the site so it shows workflow. And we do this before we start building the sites. Again, starting with this step is a lot less expensive than building a site and realizing that that your new site that you thought was going to convert much higher just decreased conversion rates by a significant amount, which oftentimes we see. And it's best to start with wireframing to get a better idea of how user workflows can go through. You can even allow users, if you have existing clients that you trust, or even prospects, you could have them come in if they were interested in doing so, and showing them your website, showing them your wireframes, and asking them if it's intuitive, if they're easy, if it's easy for them to find the information that they're looking for on your website. Oftentimes, again, it's not an exhaustive list. As you can see under our services on the wireframes on the graph there, it's just blocks of information that we're putting in rather than having all the content as it should be. It's just placeholder images. And it really is meant to show, again, the interface elements, kind of what their positioning is, and the relationship between various web pages. From that, at level 10, we generally will create mood boards, and I'll show you why in a moment. If you've watched HGTV, mood board is really, more than anything, the ability to kind of get all of your branding guidelines in place for your website. There are many companies that have very strict branding guidelines. For example, I used to work on a lot of AT&T projects, and AT&T has a thick book of very defined branding guidelines. And that's why when you look at branding, at AT&T's branding, and I think that's really what they do well, is buying products and then turning it into an AT&T brand, so that you'd never know the difference. All of their offline, all their collateral, and from their collateral to all of their commercials, to even their website, have a very, very similar element, similar tones, and that's a part of having a really good branding guideline. If you're a small business or even an agency that is working with other businesses and building sites, I recommend, if they don't have some sort of branding guidelines, that you at least create a mood board similar to this one. And it's really a simplified version of branding guidelines. But at the end of the day, what it does is represent a mood or an atmosphere of feeling, and helps you kind of get in alignment with the overall tone that you want to portray on your website. It also helps set the creative expectations. It gives designers better direction for when they're starting doing their design concepts, and helps create consistency throughout the site. So I showed you wireframes that we create up front. I show you mood boards, and then it's really just a matter of blending those two things together to create the concept designs for a site. So taking a look at Level 10's website, which you see on the right, let me go back again to the wireframes, let you look at those one more time. And then at the mood board. And then at the overall concept, as you can see, all we did was take the mood board design elements and applied those directly to the wireframe for a very nice, crisp, clean, professional design, in my opinion. And so some of the things to consider, especially nowadays, and like I said before, mobile phones or mobile devices are really the future of mass communication. I believe there's a statistic that I think somewhere around 1,800,000, something like that, babies are born per day. Actually, there are 1.4 something million mobile devices activated per day. That gives you kind of an idea of just how many people throughout the world are using mobile devices. Many have never used a desktop before. As a matter of fact, I don't even know if my children have, honestly, if they've ever used a mouse before, because they all use iPads or my MacBook. But anyway, for design considerations, I would recommend looking at designing for mobile first. Everybody says, well, what does that mean? A lot of people have heard that. It really means that you want to, as much as possible, really thin out your pages and make sure that there's not a lot of noise on your homepage or on any of your landing pages, that your site is responsive for mobile browsers. As a part of that, it could be, for example, as you see under your full service web solution section, that instead of using small links, we're using big thumbnail. Those big green icons are all links. On a mobile device, it makes it much easier because people are typically using their thumbs scrolling through to click on larger buttons and links than it is for them to click on a small link. Again, don't over-design. I think that's really kind of the overall mentality of mobile first. I know that's oftentimes depends on the politics of business, to be honest. There are a lot of companies out there, and if you have several departments and only one website, oftentimes they're fighting for real estate to get information put on a page, and what happens at the end of the day is everyone's fighting for it. You have 10 banner sliders on your home page. You have content or call to actions everywhere on your home page, and it makes the landing pages and pages very difficult for users to navigate and to really understand kind of what is the big idea, what is the main point that you're trying to get across to users when they first visit your website. You have roughly 7 to 8 seconds to make that impression, to give users the confidence that they should continue clicking through your website. So again, more is less, or less is more, sorry, and work on creating for clean, crisp design. And I think a good way of doing that is by designing for mobile users first. I'm going to go then now into kind of call to actions and what call to actions are. So, we have a website. We've been working on usability. We're looking at converting users. Again, that starts with kind of an overall design, creating a first good impression, getting them engaged into your website. As they start reading through your content, then it's important that you have call to actions on your page. And here's a little did you know. CTAs promoting ebooks get almost twice the click-through rate as emails promoting webinars. And I can tell you that by the number of people that signed up for this webinar. That's a joke. CTAs in contrasting colors to the website generate more clicks. That's kind of big if you think about it, because oftentimes, again, I just talked about the color scheme and how you want your style guide to kind of match and be consistent with colors. This is one case where it's okay if you want to have a big fat red button on your site, because it draws people's attention to it, because it's in so much contrast that a user's eye is really drawn to that screen. Oftentimes when a user comes to your website, a scanning pattern that they have is they'll look in the top left corner of your website. That's why oftentimes there's a logo up there. I probably, if I had any clout in the usability world, I would change that and put my logo in the top right corner and have a big fat call to action, or tell users what it is in the top left, because users always start in the top left corner. Their eyes typically then move towards the middle of the web page, and then to the top right corner, and then down the right-hand side of the page. And so keep that in mind when you're designing layouts for your website. But again, this is one time when contrasting colors for call to actions really work well. Also, use matching action verbs on headlines and buttons. That's a very effective, and it's a more effective way than using different words. And by that, I mean if you say download a free ebook within your headlines, then your button should also say download a free ebook. You shouldn't say, hey, download a free ebook, and then your button say learn more or click me or something like that. If you have matching action verbs, then you're going to get a better, it's going to be more effective, and you're going to increase your conversion rates, or at least people clicking on that button. 4 qualities of call to actions are value. Is it worth me giving up my email address for the information that you're going to provide me with? And so again, I recommend that you provide your users with information that helps them do their job better and makes them more valuable. Whether it's a free class or a 30-minute consultation or e-books or discounts to products, make sure that your call to actions are of value and that what you're offering them is of value. If it's not, you're not going to see a high click-through rate because people don't feel like they should be giving you the ability to market to them, or they should be providing you with any of their personal information unless it's going to be in fair trade. Call to actions should be easy to use, meaning that they should be very clear and concise, easily readable, easily clickable. Write everything that you can at about a third grade level. One important factor, do not, and I repeat, do not use flash-based call to actions. Create a banner in Photoshop and just use an image, then the entire image is clickable. Or create text. If you're going to have text ones, then make sure that the buttons are clickable, but don't create those in Flash because Flash is kind of a dying technology, and oftentimes cell phones, mobile phones, mobile devices don't pick up Flash. You have to install a lot of different things, and Flash goes in and out. So do not use Flash on your site if you can help from it. Keep from it. That's the whole point that Ajax was introduced to the web. Also, make sure that your CTAs are prominent, meaning that you should provide, or preferably place your CTAs above the fold, and that it stands out from other content on your site. And again, that kind of comes into play with having different coloring, different color, contrasting colors for your call to actions. And then it should be action-oriented, meaning that the action should be to download or to subscribe or to begin. Here are some examples of call to actions. The one on the left is a call to action on our website that has actually been very successful. As you can see, we're using a very blue and green are kind of the colors of our site, and we throw a big fat orange button in there. It says download free ebook. I'm guessing that probably a lot of you on this call have downloaded that ebook. We put those call to actions, or this particular call to action, it's located within our blog posts as well as in the footer of each one of our blog posts. To the right is another example of a call to action. In my opinion, it's pretty verbose, but also, as you can see, a big fat orange download now button. And we generally, to be honest, as a secret, use orange because it's less, what's the word I'm trying to use, aggressive than red. But people, generally there's a lot of contrast in a site, and people tend to their eyes tend to move towards reds and oranges and hotter colors. So now you have your call to action in place. You have an offer that you want to create, that you're going to provide your users with, but you need the ability for the user to provide you with information before you provide them with the offer. So create landing pages. Companies with 30+ landing pages generate 7 times more leads than those with fewer than 10 landing pages. And if you don't have a landing page and you're not doing offers and you just have basically a contact us now page, you're really missing out on gathering a lot of information about your users that you could continue then to market to your users. So if you're not already creating landing page offers, start doing that, and of course linking your call to actions to those landing pages, those landing page offers. 68% of B2B businesses use landing pages to garner new sales leads for future conversion. So it's not that they're looking to purchase right then and there, but again, it does offer you some more information about that user. Typically, a landing page would have first name, last name, email address, kind of at a minimum. And depending on the value of your content, you can gather more information from your users. And as we kind of go through this, and as you kind of get all of this set up, you can start A/B testing the length of your forms, your various call to actions, content on your landing pages to really optimize your landing pages for the best opportunity at conversion. So again, use matching action verbs on headlines and buttons. It's going to be more effective. And at the end of the day, what you want is really an inbound marketing system. And unfortunately, there aren't there are not a lot of all-in-one systems out there. I think that HubSpot has done a good job over the years of creating kind of this landing page system that they have. They've recently created a kind of a basic content management system as well to go along with that. And that's on a SaaS model. It's a monthly fee, and they have, that's one way of doing it. There are other kind of systems like Marketo and Eloqua that handle landing pages and kind of conversion mechanisms, and they're built very specifically for conversion, but aren't really geared around content management in general. And so, it seems to be a lot of disparate tools out there. One of the things that we've done is we've actually created a tool, and I'm going to try to show you that very quickly. Let me show my main screen. You guys are seeing a blue screen right now. So we've created a system that is that's based on that's based on open source technology, and this system is built in Drupal, and it integrates a lot of third-party systems that allow you to very quickly and easily create a website with everything that I've kind of talked about today already in place. The ability to lay out, again, this is kind of out of the box, and this is our site at GetCM2 if you want to learn more about this system. But the ability to very quickly and easily lay out fairly complex pages without any coding. It comes with a blog. It comes with the news press room. The blog looks like this, where you can have kind of a featured blog post, which is the most recent post that you have. It looks very similar, actually, to our site at getlevel10.com. Because we took this idea from that site. Has blog posts. Again, as I mentioned when blogging, the ability to categorize all of your blog posts by topic. A call to action for the blog post, and this one is a free ebook. The ability to create tags for your content so that you can free tag information so that users can can search for your content that way, or filter content that way. We have most recent posts, popular posts, etc. Now, if I click into a blog post, this is kind of the social sharing mechanism that I was describing earlier. We're actually using Share This, and it's integrated into the system and allows you to very quickly select if I wanted to tweet this particular post, then I'd come in, select that, boom, hit tweet, and I've just tweeted that post to my Twitter network. But there's no real shortage of social media accounts out there, and again, we're using Add This that's integrated into this system so that users can very quickly share content. Again, that other call to action that I told you was at the bottom of each blog post, and then this is Discuss. This allows me to, without logging into the system, to go in and comment on blog posts, to become engaged and ask additional questions if I have questions or need clarification about the post. But it's a very simple site. This site is meant for small, medium-sized businesses who are really, or this system is meant for small, medium-sized businesses who are really looking to get up and running quickly with a professional-looking website, with really all the tools needed to really do content marketing. For each piece of content within our system, you also have the ability, so it's a basic, very basic user interface where you just add a title, you'd add the body copy, any featured image that you want to display, you would add here. There's a certain published on date that you can set, as well as tags and categories. We have the ability to then also, which I think is pretty cool and built into this, is something that's an analyzer. So if I want to target this particular post around a specific keyword, maybe I want to tag this post against or optimize it around the word responsive design. Then I select Analyze Content. And this will go out and read my blog post to make sure that my page title has been optimized correctly. It's telling me here that it has been optimized correctly. If it finds things that aren't necessarily using best practices or that could be improved upon, it'll tell you that. It tells me that in the body, the word responsive design occurs in the body 5 times. It's telling me that no more than 2 to 4 times is recommended due to what Google says is basically a best practice for keyword saturation within a page. And so I should probably remove the word, which I'll do after this, remove the word responsive design and maybe just use the word design or mobile or some other type of keyword instead of using the word responsive so often, so that I don't get so that I'm not over optimizing. It also comes with the ability to add meta tags, meta titles, descriptions, abstracts, keywords, etc. On top of that, and I've talked a lot about kind of how to build your site, and that's all well and good. And I think that the place that you're going to start to see a lot of future investment, you're already seeing it for companies like Adobe and IPM, are really focusing efforts on building out intelligent websites. The ability for your website to really learn through analytics and shape both content, but to gain a better understanding of what your users are doing on your site through analytics. We've actually done a very deep integration with our system into Google Analytics, which allows me to do a couple things. It allows us to, there's about 200 data points within Google Analytics, and when you are first setting up Google Analytics, unless you really kind of know what you're doing and getting it set up, it can be a very tedious process for really configuring much more than what the basic data points are. So you might have a good understanding of what how much traffic you're generating to the site on a monthly basis, where your site traffic is coming from, you know, what's the most popular page on your website, that type of thing. But it doesn't give you a lot more information other than that. By integrating directly with Google Analytics, we can then, in our system, I can set up a dashboard. Now I'm a biz dev and a client services guy, and so I know kind of what our sales team needs to do as far as leads to our website or conversions to our website in order for us to far exceed our monthly sales goals. And so Level 10's website, this is what we're looking at now, because it has data. I set an objective as I want our marketing team to drive 20,000 unique visitors per month to our website. At a 1%, at basically a 1% conversion rate, that would give me 200 leads per month. Now again, it depends on what you consider a lead. Some people consider a lead a very high qualified lead. In this case, I have a mixture of and that's why it's set so high, is that, you know, it's not, in my opinion, just a matter of getting very qualified people that are ready to buy right now, but I want to get roughly 200 leads per month so that we can continue to nurture those leads through other mechanisms, whether it's providing them with additional offers through email address. So anyone that provides me with an email address and their name, I consider a lead within our system, but you can set this up however you want to through an administrative interface. And so I have what my objective or what my goal is versus my actual. Here I have what my objective is versus my actual, and also I can look at various content that we've created over the this particular month and get a better idea of what we're writing about and how engaging that content is. And oftentimes, if I see this number dip, this traffic number dip below the objective, I know then that I can probably come down here and look and see that we're not generating enough website content or we're not getting enough engagement around our posts, and which leads to a direct reflection of this number. Usually if this conversion number is low, this tells me that I'm receiving the amount of traffic that I need, but our conversion rate is low. And so I need to go have our developers and our marketing team look at kind of the call to actions that we have on our website, to look at the offers that we have on our website, to look at the length of the forms for our offers on our website, and to maybe shift some things around and see how that's going to impact our conversion rate. And so again, just we're getting this through basic deep integration with Google Analytics. For each piece of content on my site, I can also look at various scorecards directly within the content management platform. This tells me kind of what our goals are, how many valued events I've had specifically for over the last 30 days. Things like how many people have filled out a form submission for a top-of-the-funnel offer, how many people share content or commented on blog posts, etc. And it tells me what pages are providing the most value. Because we've been in this game for a long time and we've been doing inbound marketing for several years now, we have a lot of data, and so what we've done is we're really looking to get a better understanding of, okay, now that we know that we're getting traffic, how can we constantly be improving this? If I'm tagging all of my blog posts by specific subject matter, for example, I can then start to look and say, okay, based on the subject matter that we're writing about, are there certain posts that provide that get more entrances, they get more page views, and ultimately what I'm looking for is the highest value score. And by value I mean I can set value scores, you can set value scores within the system, and it might be giving 5 points to someone who looks at your who comes and visits a page. If they share a blog post with their friends, giving them 10 more points. If they comment on your blog post, maybe giving them 5 or 10 more points. If they fill out a form, maybe giving them 20 points. And over time, assigning values to every action that a user has on your website, and then gives us the information that we need to shape the type of content that we're writing for marketers. What content can we write that's more valuable? I can look at authors and get an understanding of what authors are generating the most value to our website. Anyone who fills out a form, I can look. This is me, for example. I can look and see that I've been to this site 3 times recently, had 6 page views, and I've had to restart this a couple times. That's why everything's askew. But it calculates every time I've been to the website. It gives me a points value. Any form that I fill out, it provides that form data. I can go in for any user on my site if they've given me information, and I can click stream, and it brings me to this page and shows me every page that they've been to on our website. It gives me a much better understanding of usability on our website, and how how involved people are being with the website, if they're having any problems, if their bounce rates, etc., or what's leading people to convert. So I'm going to stop it there because I know I'm going over on time. I apologize for that, and I'll answer any questions that you guys might have.
One of the questions we got was, do you recommend any specific social media aggregators like Hootsuite? We'd like to understand what comes with your open enterprise offering.
Yeah, Hootsuite is definitely a good tool. I think it's one of those things where I think that there are best practices kind of around automated tools. I kind of shared my post with you as an example just a minute ago. I have heard that in sharing content, you want to add some personalization to it. And so, if it really comes across as an automated process, that's going to turn people off. It definitely helps to help manage, especially if you're tweeting a tremendous number of posts all the time. It definitely helps with managing that process. But you want to be, you probably want to write as much as possible kind of a custom introduction or custom tweet, and then you maybe using scheduling for automating some of those posts.
Okay, another question says, did you say that we should assign objective points for each actions in Google Analytics?
I would recommend that. I think that it's difficult to do, to be honest, in Google Analytics. Generally, if you want to set, for example, an event in Google, you can set goals, and setting goals is fairly easy. For example, when someone fills out someone clicks on a call to action, I consider that an event. If then they fill out a form, and I would consider the thank you page for that form where they might be able to download their offer a goal. I think setting up goals is fairly easy. In Google Analytics, in my opinion, setting up events is not so easy because you need to create really an on-click event for every action that a user is taking. You can certainly do that. What's nice about our system is that Tom created it in a way that the call to action module that I was showing you, when you create call to actions, you can associate values, and all of that the event tracking and everything is automatically created, so it just saves a lot of time in having to kind of manually create those events. Does that answer your question? Hope so.
One last question. Somebody wanted to know to define what quality links mean to you.
What quality leads mean to me?
Quality links.
It's different to each person. In my opinion, a quality lead is one that allows me to gain more information about the user, and it shows me that they are engaged in our brand, that they have interest in either a product or service that we have. Now, there's a big difference between, again, someone who is ready to buy, and for some people, they consider that a quality lead. They've provided you with some information. They say, yeah, contact me. I'm ready to buy right now. And realistically, I don't think that a lot of people are there. I think that a very small percentage of visitors to most websites are at that point. But they're obviously looking for and interested in some product or some solution that you're offering, A, to be on your website, but B, to provide you with personal information about them in order to gain more information. So that's what I consider kind of a valuable lead is again gathering more information so that we can continue to market to them, and we know who that user is at that point and what their interest level is.
Okay, one final question, and Phil asks, what would you recommend they use for a landing page widget on a Drupal 7 site?
Well, I recommend that you use Open Enterprise. To be honest, you know, I haven't really seen a great system built in Drupal outside of kind of what Tom has created. One of the things that you know, there are certain landing page best practices, and one of the things that I like about what he's created within Open Enterprise is that it's non-technical and it's very easy to set up. And so for any form that we create within web form on Drupal, which is just a basic form creator, you can create long form, kind of a medium-sized form, or short form, and then you can kind of mix and match the forms with your various landing pages. And so it automates a lot of the process and a lot of the tedious work that you might have to generally do to create a landing page. It does things like strips the, you know, I can click a link and say I want to strip out all the blocks from this page so that only you know, the logo and the offer exist with the web form, which is kind of a best practice. You don't necessarily want people hitting your web form, especially from PPC ads, and landing on a page that allows them to click off of it all the time, because that's going to increase your or decrease your conversion rate. So to be honest, I haven't seen really any great system in Drupal, and I would, you know, if you want to follow up with me at Brent B at GetLevel10, I'd be more than happy to talk to you about it in more detail. Any additional questions?
That was actually the final question.
Okay, fantastic. Well, guys, I really appreciate your time today. I hope that you found this information helpful in some way. Hopefully we'll be maybe posting this presentation so that you guys have access to it. I'll figure out where that is, and we'll send out an email, and we'll go from there. Again, sorry for the short notice. If you guys were waiting on Tom McCracken or looking forward to Tom McCracken, he will most likely be back in next week or the week after for his presentation. And until next time, thanks again, guys.